Three, two, here's your camera here. Action. Hi, everybody. This is Jamila J, and welcome to Jamila J Plus Size Revolution. And you may ask, what is the plus size revolution? Is it just for plus size ladies? It's for everybody. You can have a plus size heart, you can have a plus size testimony, you can have a plus size spirit. And today, my guest is Miss Jessica Johnson. She's a model, she's a mom, and a wife, but she has an awesome testimony. She lived a life of sex trafficking and prostitution, and now she's a minister. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You have a fantastic, a very, I say fantastic because people can relate to your story. There's a lot of girls that may be experiencing what you have experienced or have experienced. Tell me a little bit about how you got into prostitution.
My family, my home was kind of broken. My dad and my mom divorced. We moved. My dad was in a service. We traveled a lot. We moved a lot. So when he moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Hawaii, and then I lived in Canada for a little bit, and then moved to Oregon, it just got really rough with my father and I's relationship.
Where was your mother?
She's in Japan.
So at what age was your mother not around? When did she leave?
I was 6 years old.
You were 6 years old when your mother left, and
Yes.
she went back to Japan?
And yes.
Did she say why, or how did she just up and leave her family?
In the Asian culture, we kind of stick together. Because my dad is from Trinidad and Tobago, it was a lot of controversy with my mom's mom, which is my grandmother, and her being married to my father. So it was a lot of tension. And then from my mom's perspective, I guess my father was abusive verbally and sometimes physically. Of course, I don't really know the full in depth of my parents of this why they divorced, but that did take a lot of toll on me because I am half Asian and I don't really know the Japanese culture. But I grew up with my dad, and one day we came home and she just disappeared, left.
You have siblings?
I have two half sisters, one by my mom and one by my dad, and then I have one full brother.
Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit. How did the broken home? I mean, a lot of us come from a broken home, divorced parents, single parent, mother or father, but how did that lead you into prostitution?
I was struggling to be cared and loved for, and I know that my father did the best that he can to raise my brother and I, but he was always gone flying. He's a captain for American Airlines now.
He's a pilot?
Yes. So he was always gone traveling, and the time that he did stay home with us, we didn't really have that one-on-one with him. We didn't.
But who cared for you while your dad was,
My
basically?
stepmom.
Oh, on the road. Okay, your stepmother.
But there was no real true bond.
Right.
So when he would go and fly away, it was kind of more like, in my perspective, it seemed like it was always about her.
Okay.
And we was always shipped off to our grandmothers every Christmas, every summer. So there was really no foundation of family.
Right.
And I seeked that. I wanted it. I yearned for it. So at 16, I got tired of my father verbally and emotionally abusing me. And I ran away from home in Portland, Oregon. And then I ended up on 82nd Max Station, which is a stop where public transportation is used. So it's like a train that we call the Max. And at 16, I had all my bags, and some man just walked up on me. Oh, you're beautiful, you're this, and told me everything that of course you wanted to hear at that time at 16.
But at 16, you packed your bags. What was your intent? Were you going to go stay with your grandmother, or you thought you would just make it on your own?
Well, I also got tired of my father telling me when you're 18, you're going to leave the house, type of ordeal, you know. And though sometimes he says he didn't say that, but you know, you don't forget things as a child. And my dad spoke it upon me. You was going to be, you know, you're going to be a whore, you're going to be a slut, you're going to be a prostitute.
That's what your dad said at 16?
14 it started.
Oh, wow. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
He spoke it over me. Oh, if you don't get your act right. And I know now that his intentions really was is to say, if you dress like this or if you act like this, you're going to become this. That's how people are going to treat you. But as a child, you take it as your father is saying that you're going to be a slut or a whore or a prostitute. And then when it did occur and a man forced me into it at 16, 17 years old, you know, it was very damaging. You know?
So let's go back to the train station or the transportation, public transportation. You're there at 16 with all your bags, and what was your intent? What were you planning on doing?
To be honest, at that time, I didn't have any plans or anything. I just felt in my little 16-year-old mind that anything's got to be better than being at home.
Hold on to that. We have a commercial break, and we're going to talk about like your first job. I want to know what that was like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Claire? Okay. Okay. That was kind of quick. You didn't have to do it that quick.
Okay.
I got you. So that was like 5 minutes and maybe 10, 15 seconds. So I came up on the minute mark to give you the minute thing. So you actually, it was going right good. You asked her a question. You could have let her talk it out because you still have a minute.
Oh, when you was right there.
Right. So right, probably once she started saying whatever she's saying or whatever, once it started getting good, you can kind of count. You don't have to have a minute in try to count down the seconds of the minute. But it was enough time for her to say what she was saying and say, okay, she's talking. I'm about to cut her. So I'm gonna find a good place where Scary start getting juicy and be like, okay, that's really good, and then do it.
Okay.
So same thing that you did, just not that fast.
Okay. So I could sing 1,000.